about that.
You're playing all the wrong notes.
I'm playing all the right notes, but not necessarily in the right order. I'll give you that. I'll give you that, sunshine.
I lived in a village in Surrey for many years, and I lived there then. And the morning after that show was run was the first day that I was a hero in the pub, in the local. And all the concerts I had done before meant nothing at the pub. But Eric and Ernie, that got me my own glass.
Rubbish.
Nearly 20 million people sat down to watch the 1971 show featuring Andre Previn. Morcombe and Wise had created a Christmas institution, and the pressure was on to keep the standards up.
The trouble was, it was a terrible challenge, of course, having done shows which got millions and millions. Eric, too, I think, was very worried. He'd got to keep going and getting better and better, and that's a terrible strain.
Can I introduce you to this?
Oh, I know who he is.
Yes.
How are you, Derek?
There was tremendous interest about the show that was coming up on the following Christmas, and we kept it secret.
I must say it is a unique honour.
Well, I'd rather you didn't kiss my hand. It's frightfully unhygienic.
Well, let's put the blocks on what I had in mind.
Eric Morcombe certainly was uniquely brilliant and a real, uniquely one-off, richly comic person, you know.
But I'm not all there.
We all know that.
Eric was brilliant at making it very, very Eric, you know. And Ernie was very good at fitting in where Eric wanted him to fit in, you know.
What do you mean?
Where's my little... No, I know where your little but where's my little...
Oh, you mean you want Christmas presents?
If it's ready.
Oh, from me, all
Yes.
right. There you are.
Oh.
There's my credit card. You can have it for 10 minutes.
Oh, all the shops are closed.
Well, suit yourself.
Hey?
The shows changed drastically when Ernest Maxton took over. Ernest had always been choreographing the Morcombe and Wise shows, but he became producer, choreographer, I think, in about 1975. And what Eric and Ernie wanted at that time is they wanted Hollywood. They wanted more music, they wanted the glamour.
Let the stormy clouds chase everyone from the place. Come on with the rain.
I remember when we did Singing in the Rain, we built this whole street across one of the studios, and that took 2 days to film. It took a day to almost get rid of all the water at the end of it, so it had to be drained away.
Have you seen what you've done for me? I went through! You! I went through her, that's not nice. I went through, folk.
Just and dancing in the rain.
And it wasn't just comedians and actors who were drafted onto the Christmas specials.
I think when we were asked to appear in shows other than the news, it would probably arrive in the form of a memo, an internal memo of some sort. And then you'd go to the editor of television news and say, do you mind if I do this thing? And they were just a little bit sensitive about doing daft things too often.
A report on the economy has just come through from number 11 Downing Street. The Chancellor's statement reads as follows. There may be trouble ahead, but while there's moonlight and music and love and romance.
Let's face the music and dance!
It was when Angela Rippon started reading the news that the change came. And once she had made that particular breakthrough, then they began to think of using others of us in the same sort of role.
We got sunlight on the sand, we got moon.
And in 1977, a whole host of household names were lined up for their most ambitious musical number ever, a version of There's Nothing Like a Dame from South Pacific.
We ain't got dames.
My father was terribly anxious about it, right up to something like, 3 days before it went out. And I'd never seen him like that about a piece of work before, but he was convinced it couldn't work because none of the newscasters could get together en masse to rehearse. And it's back to that old rehearsal thing again. It's very important.
You know darn well. We got nothing to put on a clean white suit for. We got nothing to look masculine and cute for.
Well, I think to get an invitation to appear on the Morcombe and Wise Christmas show was rather like getting a knighthood. It was something very, very special.
There is nothing you can name that is anything like a dame. Never looks like a dame. Looks like a dame.
Some people can move, some people it's completely uncoordinated. Eddie Waring, poor soul, he couldn't dance either. So he was the worst, he couldn't sing or dance.
We feel lonely and we long for the fair and gentle sex. We would like to feel the feeling of some arms around our necks. We feel hungry as the wolf out planning Edward Riding Hood. What don't we feel? We don't feel good.
There were great cartwheels performed at a certain stage. It looked as if we were all doing these cartwheels. What we had to do, each of us, was to get into an attitude where they could make the video cut and put in the business of the fellow doing the real cartwheels.
Somebody put in an expert tumbler who'd done the difficult middle bit, the actual somersault.
For a long time, rather fought against admitting that I didn't actually do these things. Oh, I said, really? Yes, I am pretty athletic. You wouldn't have thought so, but I am.
And it does work. It's now a brilliant bit of work. And when my father saw it, he was just blown away by it. He couldn't believe how good it was.
I am Morcombe and Wise, because I am.
That year, Morcombe and Wise's Christmas special was watched by a then record TV audience of 28 million people. But it was the last time they would be seen on the BBC. Eric and Ernie had switched sides and signed for ITV.
Good evening and welcome live to Thames Television, where our cameras are poised to bring you exclusive coverage of the arrival of some of the special guest stars appearing on tonight's Morcombe and Wise show.
Come on, sweetheart. Let's have you. Find your head. Where's a good girl? Off you go.
I didn't realise that 1977 would be the last Christmas show for Morcombe and Wise at the BBC. No, I think I knew there was a lot of wheeling and dealing going on in the background, and I just assumed that Eric and Ernie would renew their contract with the BBC.
My secretary phoned up and said, I've got terrible news. Eric and Ernie have left. And, I mean, it was devastating. Eric, Ernie and I were very good friends over a long period, way before they came on television for the BBC.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Leonard Rossiter.
And what did I feel like when they left? I felt I'd been divorced. I was very, very sad that they went.
Tell me, Leonard, are you working here?
No, but very careful where you're working these days. Yeah. No, this is a shortcut to BBC.
Tell us the way, we might be going that way ourselves.
The reviews were almost written before you did the shows. They won't be as good as they were on the BBC.
I didn't see it. Busy watching my own.
John, I mean, we've done it, and I think that if we make for the door there's only one way we can go.
OK.
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 Let your arms be as warm.
With stars of stage and screen and even newsreaders appearing on Eric and Ernie's specials, the BBC gave the impression of being one big TV family at Christmas.